Howdy folks, this is Shane. Today I'm doing a follow-up video from a video that I posted about a week and a half ago now that's had about 95,000 views as of today. That's crazy. It was called the top 5 quality guitars with horrible resale value. If you haven't seen that, I'll pop it up in the cards. The great thing about that particular video was it had over 700 comments and lots of people contributed other guitars that should have been on the list, some that I might have overlooked, some that I might not have been as aware of, and I thought, you know what, you're absolutely right. So this is 5 more guitars that you can add to the list of quality guitars with horrible resale value. Let's do it. Coming in at number 5 is Godin Guitars. It's spelled G-O-D-I-N. I thought it was Godin for years, but it's Godin, that's how you pronounce it. These guitars are made in Canada. They actually look really beautiful. One of the nicest ones that I've seen in recent times was at Haight-Ashbury Music Center in San Francisco recently. And it was a beautiful looking guitar and it was unique. I think they sort of shot themselves in the foot early on doing a lot of Strat style guitars that weren't really visually as nice possibly. I mean, everyone likes different things, but in my opinion, those early Strat designed type Godin guitars really weren't quite as nice or visually appealing as say a Strat, for example. Even though these are made in Canada, their resale value is shocking. I had a number of people in the comments just say Godin should have been in the list, Godin should have been in the list. So here it is. This is the follow-up video. You're absolutely right. That's definitely one that I overlooked. Godin, you're on the list. Coming in at number 4 on this list is out of Germany, and this was one of the most requested guitars that I overlooked, is Framus. Framus guitars actually look and sound great. If you buy a Framus guitar, buy it because you love it, without the intention of hopefully reselling it later. I know financial situations can change and all that kind of stuff over the years. I'm a great example of selling stuff and then regretting it later. So this particular brand looks and sounds great. Their factory looks awesome, all that kind of stuff. But from what I can see, people spend 3,000 euros on these and they can't sell them for 1,000. So you're basically blowing 2/3 of your money if you try to resell it. The moral of the story is, if you buy a Framus, buy it because you love it and you plan to keep it. Don't buy it and then hope to resell it later. You've completely done your dough. Coming in at number 3 on this list, might shock some people and it might not shock others, but it's Ibanez Guitars. I don't mind Ibanez Guitars. I'm not huge into their pointy guitars, but I do like their basses. I own a sound gear. I've actually owned 3 of those over the years. And I'm also a huge fan of their Japanese guitars as well, their older stuff. I think some of those are some of the best Jap guitars you can buy. That said, we're going to focus on more of the modern guitars. If you buy one of these things, say for around $1,000, you've pretty much blown your cash. You're going to lose at least 50%, like at least 50% if you try to resell these down the track. They just don't hold their value. I'm going to give you a real world example of this. Recently, I picked up a left-handed Ibanez sound gear bass for $140 Australian. This retails somewhere around $700 to $800. That's a whole lot of cash. Although that's a bass, I see this time and time again online on eBay with people trying to sell these Ibanez guitars. And unless it's a 70s Jap one, resale value isn't always good. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. Coming in at number 2 on this list was a brand that I actually really like. I had a chance to play a lot of these at Jerry's Lefty Guitars 3 years ago and recently as well, and that's Heritage Guitars. These don't lose quite as much value as some of the other ones on the list, but when you compare what they're worth new compared to what you pay for them used, there's a huge separation going on. These are phenomenal instruments in terms of quality, in terms of tone, all of that kind of stuff. They're made extremely well. The quality control is awesome, but you just can't give them away. And you know why? Because people will generally always want to go buy a Gibson if they're uninformed about, heritage guitars or other guitars in general. And this seems to be a little bit about the theme that's going on with the secondhand market, is the household names tend to sell for more money, or people just aspire or want to get those based on the headstock and what it says, which is a real shame. Heritage guitars are fantastic. One of the best gold top style guitars I ever played was a Heritage. It's thinner body, nice and light. It's a real shame to see this on the list, but due to the overwhelming consensus in the comments, Heritage Guitars comes in at number 2. So coming in at the big old number 1 spot, due to the overwhelming consensus in the comments, was Carvin/Kiesel Guitars. I saw so many people post this in the comments, so I thought I'd investigate further. I've seen a couple of these guitars in person, even in a lefty, and they're all different. And I think that's the thing that sort of shoots them in the foot when it comes to the resale value. Anytime you put together a custom guitar for yourself, it's an awesome, awesome thing. Do it with the intention to keep it. I've said this before about other guitars on the list, but this one in particular. If you're gonna make a custom shop style guitar and put it together with all your specs, that's not gonna suit everybody. Someone always likes something different, and that's the thing that I think makes these guitars sort of very underwhelming for other people when you try to sell them. These type of guitars will generally hang around guitar shops for a long period of time, and their price will just continually drop until someone decides they want it. A lot of people have heard of the Carvin name, but they're not really one of those brands that stick out to me, at least in the guitar industry, as something that people aspire to get. There's always something else on the radar for people than a Carvin. I'm not saying they're bad guitars, and if you love them or if you own one, that's awesome. But try reselling it at some point and see how you go. If you've made a custom guitar for yourself, keep it. Don't try and sell it, and that's the reason this is at number 1, is because if you sort of put together a guitar to meet your own specs and look and all that kind of stuff, you're gonna have a hard time sort of selling that off to someone else unless it ticks all the boxes for them, which is gonna be pretty hard. Thanks again for watching, folks. My name's Shane. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it the thumbs up. This list was compiled from the comments. I had over 700 comments posted on that particular video that's had over 90,000 views already. So thanks so much for the support. Don't forget to share this video with your friends if you've got some guitar players that you want to look out for. If they're thinking about buying a brand that might be on this list, maybe share it with them as well. But if they do buy one on the list and they love the guitar, that's awesome too. If anything else should have been added to this particular video or the last one, please let me know. If you haven't seen the first video, I'll pop it up in the cards and you can check it out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you all soon. See ya.